Good evening. It's been a nice summer break. So I'm here tonight to talk about, excuse me, harm reduction. And the needle distribution program is one of those things that seems to be coming to Chico whether we really want it or not. I've spoken to Dr. Miller about this, and here is the rationale.
Mr. Berry.
Yes.
You are aware that Vice Mayor Brown has made a request that we will probably be acting on this evening.
Mr. Mayor, is that an agenda item on tonight's agenda?
Yeah, quite literally it is here, I believe. Unless we like the city attorney to opine. A request has come up to discuss Vice Mayor Brown's request on a presentation on syringe access programs. And our policies indicate that our agenda items are not to be discussed from business from the floor. The allegation is, if I'm paraphrasing it correctly, Mr. Berry, that a council member request is not an agendized item and therefore it should be discussed during business from the floor.
So if
it's an AP&P, so it's not a, it would take a vote of the council to violate our own rules.
Do you take speaker cards on that item when a council member requests an agenda?
If it were going to be agendized, yes.
So it's not on the agenda?
Well, I can see my agenda here. It says council member requests and Vice Mayor Brown has requested something.
I'll wait for a ruling.
I'm not sure it's going to come as a ruling. I've requested an opinion. Please, sir.
Yeah, so the Chico process of raising issues and then discussing them, whether or not to bring them at a future meeting, there is an AP&P that says that does not have public comment. That is for you all to decide. Public comment on that issue would then happen at a future date.
Right.
If that is what the mayor is hearing that this speaker is talking about, then you would technically have that argument. If instead he's talking about needle exchanges in general or something else, then he has the 3 minutes to talk about whatever it is that's under your purview.
Sure.
This time.
And the topic that I'm raising here is harm reduction. So
As it relates to a needle exchange?
Pardon me?
As it relates to a presentation on syringe access programs.
Is needle exchange or distribution part of a harm reduction program?
I'm just going to caution you to avoid syringe access programs.
No, sir, I'm not going to avoid the topic that I want to talk about.
Okay, well then.
Either sit me down or allow me to speak, one of the two.
This is an agendized item. You are refrain from discussing the agendized item.
I have a question.
Hang on one moment. Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, I'd like to hear.
It doesn't, if you have a question for him, please engage him, otherwise I'll ask.
About the process.
Okay, well, let's have him sit down first and we can discuss the process.
Sure, point of order, you mean?
Point of order, yeah. So when somebody's doing a presentation, like when Gail gave a presentation tonight, we did not take public comment on a presentation. So therefore, if we're getting a presentation about needle exchange, that's not going to allow public comment.
If this were actually the presentation, I would think that would make relevant sense here. The difference is the reason why we don't have agendized items discussed from business from the floor is because it repeats the comments and it gives another opportunity to extend the meeting. That's the basis for having an agendized item have its own fixed time to discuss it and not to be labor or move on. So under the presumption that we will continue with this request of Vice Mayor Brown, even in her absence, I'm going to negate that it's part of the agenda and not appropriate for business from the floor.
No question?
No, please. You're out of order.
I have a question about procedure. This is a First Amendment right here. I just want to be clear
Mr. Berry,
why I'm being denied the opportunity to speak. I just would like to be clear about that.
Because you are insisting on discussing syringe access programs.
May I ask you a question?
No, please sit down. You're out of order.
Thank you very much.